Hi and welcome to your practice. I'm Dionne, and this time of year things tend to get a little bit spicy, a little bit busy, and this practice is for when things speed up a bit and we might feel a bit swept up in it. How can we get grounded, stable, connected, and just be in our body? Sounds simple, but we'll see. So we're going to start on our backs. So we're going to come to lie down. And take your time getting there, especially if you've got any back stuff, any aches in the low back. And it might feel more comfortable to have the knees bent, feet on the floor. And you can have your arms anywhere that feels comfortable. Just take a couple of breaths here. Let yourself land, especially if you haven't had a chance to do that today. Breathing through your nose or your mouth is totally fine, whatever feels comfortable right now. And just start to notice the connection to the floor, so notice what's touching the ground. See if you can let that get a little heavier. See if you can let yourself get a little bit more connected to the support beneath you. It's often quite easy to forget that when we're caught up in the trance of busyness. And it's okay because we're human. Instead, we're just going to really let ourselves be in whatever state we're in today. If we're knackered, maybe we just need to take more rest. Maybe have a snooze. You're totally welcome to have a snooze. This is your time. And if you're feeling like you've got quite a lot of energy to burn, like maybe there's a kind of energy of anxiety, perhaps you feel like experimenting a bit in your practice, so feel free to just go buck wild. People still say that, I don't know. But let your practice be intuitive, so if you feel like I just want to flow, I just want to kind of feel heat, I just want to move, then add more movement. If you just want to slow it down, then be more still, take rest as often as you like. So from here, one by one, we're just going to bring the knees towards the chest, take hold of the knees. You can give yourself a hug, you can be still there, or you can freestyle, maybe moving the knees around any direction. Let it be intuitive and let it feel good most of all. So perhaps you notice the difference in sensation in your back when you bring the knees closer towards your chest. So perhaps you can tap more into the mid-spine versus taking the knees further away from you. You can massage a bit more into the low back when you do that. So just really tune into what you need and trust that you know what you need. And when you're done there, we're just going to take a really easeful twist. So just drop the knees over to the right. This doesn't have to be the biggest twist of your life, so just take it easy. And you can have your arms wherever feels right. Maybe they're out by your sides. I often like to rest my right hand on top of my left thigh. Take a couple of breaths there. Maybe see if you can drop the back of the left shoulder towards the ground. And then slowly bring the knees back up. And then twist to the other side. So take your time getting there. And things might feel different from one side compared to the other. So just notice that, especially if you're working with any old injuries, or if you just know that you tend to be a bit tighter. See if you can make your breath more spacious. And as you inhale, slowly bring the knees back up to center. Then roll onto one side, take your time, push yourself up. Maybe stay down if that's feeling good today. We're going to come onto all fours. So find your way there. And if you feel like your knees are a bit tender, you can always take a blanket underneath your knees. Or something that I like to do is just take the mat and fold it over. Just bring my knees down. So I've got like luxury padding Always nice to have luxury padding where you can. So spread out the fingers nice and wide, make contact with the ground this time through the fingertips and thumb tips. Spread the knees as wide as you like, or as close together as you like. Bring the big toes to touch behind you, bum towards your heels, and then lower the forehead down to the ground. And if you can't reach the ground, just bring the ground to you. You can make fists with your hands. And try and let the elbows rest on the floor. Take a couple of breaths, relax the belly. Just give your weight to the ground. And maybe here you can use this as an opportunity to check in, just to really listen. So when we're busy, it tends to be a lot of noise. But we're always able to find this quiet place, this voice that we have. Maybe it's a feeling or a mood. We can always connect to that through this space we make to listen. So you're welcome to stay there. If you feel ready, on an inhale, gently come up, back onto hands and knees. Bring the knees underneath your hips. I'm going to tuck my toes for this. And you're going to walk the hands forward for puppy pose. So you can go as deep or as shallow as you like. Just take your time. Keep the fingers nice and spread. And then push your bum back and high up as you can. It's like a mini version of down dog. And then you can let the head go. Maybe for some of you, your forehead can come to the floor, but don't worry if it doesn't. You can just hang out there. And then you might bend the elbows a little bit and then straighten the arms again. Try and get a bit more length through the spine. Space into the armpits. And let the chest sink towards the ground. So if you feel ready, as you inhale, gently come on up. And slowly walk the hands back towards you. And I'm going to take out my luxury padding now. Pull out the mat if you're using one, but you totally don't need a mat for yoga, so whatever works. Spread the fingers out, tuck the toes, and then hover the knees a little. So just hover them an inch or so away from the floor. And then see if you can really activate the core. You can probably feel it already. Kind of like wearing a really fat boxer's belt, hugging everything in towards the center. And then if this feels comfortable, see if you can start to extend the arms, reaching your bum up towards the ceiling. We're coming into down dog. You can let the head go. And maybe try keeping the knees bent for a moment. Take a breath. And then bend the elbows out to the sides. Press the heels of the hands into the ground. And imagine you're trying to push the mat forward as you re-extend the arms. Press the pads of the fingertips into the floor. Tuck the chin a little, and then see how it feels to reach the heels towards the mat behind you. So opening up the backs of the legs. See if you can ground down to the base of the big toes, base of the little toes. And maybe imagine energetically the heels inside and outside pressing towards the ground. Perhaps you can really activate the muscles in your legs, lifting the thighs up away from the knees. Deep breath there. And then gently bend the knees again. Slowly walk the feet towards your hands. So nice and easy, not too much information. Just dropping into sensation. So if you need to bend the knees, feel very free to do that. If you've got space, you might start to extend the legs again by pressing all four corners of the feet into the floor. And then as you inhale, lift the chest, lift the sternum. As you exhale, fold over the legs, take a little bend to the knees, and then grab hold of the elbows. Maybe you hang out here. You can add a little sway side to side if that feels good. Good opportunity to check in with your neck. So try and let the neck be nice and long. And then when you're ready, gently release the elbows Bring the hands to the hips, keep the knees bent here. Really press into the four corners of the feet. Lift the elbows. And then as you inhale, press down through your feet in order to rise up. All right. We made it. So you can release the arms here. You can give them a little shake. Have a little bend in the knees. And we're just going to have a little kidney tap. So I'll show you from the front. You're just going to literally sway from side to side. Maybe tearing down decorations in the house if you like. And you can just let the head turn, let the upper body turn. So kind of gentle twisting. Nice. And then slowly come back to center once again. So find what center is for you. Walk to the top of the mat, feet hip width distance apart. We'll take a half sun salutation here. So just go at your own pace. Stay with your breath. And then when you're ready, inhale, reach the arms up into the air. Woo. As you exhale, fold forward, bending the knees as much as you need to get there. On an inhale, lift the chest, lift the sternum, look up. And as you exhale, refold, tucking the chin. From here, press into the feet and inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach the arms overhead. And as you exhale, draw the palms together with the chest, relax the shoulders. One more of those. Inhaling, reaching up, press into the feet. Exhale, folding forward, just taking your time. Inhale, lift the chest and look up. And exhale, refold. Inhale, press all the way up to standing. Reach the arms overhead. Then exhale, hands to the chest. Take a breath. Nice, we'll add a bit more to this. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift the chest, look up. And exhale, walk back to your down dog. So take your time to get there. Couple of breaths here, just see how this down dog feels. Spread fingers, spread toes. You can do that little arm readjustment if that feels better for your shoulders and your neck. Nice, and then from down dog, inhale, come high onto your tiptoes. As you exhale, come forward to plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists, or maybe shoulders just behind the wrists. Then bring the knees down to the floor, take a moment and just notice if there's a collapse in the belly and a real crunch in the low back. So we try to avoid that. So see if you can lift the navel up towards the spine. So you're again having that boxer's belt situation, you know what I mean? Kind of. As if you've got a nice big ribbon or like one of those naughty belts that people, I don't know, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, just a big rim around the waist, holding you in. And then when you've got that, up to you if you want to keep the knees down or maybe lift the knees up. If the knees are lifted, really press the inner and outer heel back behind you. Lift the sternum. And then try and lift the head, so draw the ears back away from the floor. And on your next exhale, gently lower everything down to the floor. Come onto your belly. Cobra pose, tops of the feet to the floor. And try and spread the toes out. Hands press into the mat either side of the chest and then hug the elbows in. Then roll the shoulders back and inhale, peel up into cobra pose. So you can keep the cobra super low, no problem. Either way, just keep the shoulders away from the ears best as you can. And it's almost as though you're trying to pull the mat back. And here, hopefully, you should feel a nice opening around the mid-back, thoracic spine. Maybe a lovely opening in the chest. Next exhale, gently lower all the way down to the floor. And we'll come up again as you inhale. Rolling up. Maybe a bit higher, maybe the same. And as you exhale, gently lower everything down to the floor. the toes, and then push back to down dog, however you want to get there. So taking your time, remembering this is your practice. So finding a rhythm of breath that suits you. And from down dog, really ground through the left foot and slowly inhale the right leg up into the air. Then point the toes down. Extend out through the heels. And as you exhale, bring the right knee towards your nose, shoulders over the wrists. It's like you're trying to kiss your knee. Kiss it if you can. If not, don't worry about it if it feels weird. And then step that right foot forward. Left knee comes down to the floor. And then push yourself up into a low lunge. So you can stay here kind of casual, resting on the front thigh. Or if you feel like it, you can extend the arms up. And then maybe take butterfly fingers, cross over the thumbs, spread out the fingers super wide. That can feel quite nice for shoulders, the base of the neck. Some of you may feel you've got more space to deepen the lunge, so go there if you want to. And then gently release the hands down. We're going to open up into half splits. So push your bum back and then lift your front toes. Dig the front heel down and draw it back towards you. So it's like you're trying to drag this heel closer towards you. So maybe you stay here. Maybe some of you feel like you've got space to fold over that front leg. Just find whatever position works for you. Just let the head go. Reconnect to your breath. And on your next inhale, gently lift the chest. Exhale, bend the front knee. And then make your way back to down dog however you like. You can go straight there or via your plank pose. All the way down to your belly. Inhaling up into cobra. And then back to down dog to meet everyone else. Taking a breath in down dog. Recentering, regrounding. Despite the chaos. Right foot is heavy. Slowly lift the left leg up into the air. Point the left toes down. Relax the neck. So let the head hang loose. As you exhale, left knee towards your nose. Rounding the spine, but you're kissing your knee. And then step that left foot forward. Right knee to the floor. You know what's coming. Make your way up. However feels good. You might go for the butterfly other direction. So cross the other thumb. And then perhaps you can sink into it if there's space for the hips. But try not to crank anything. Try and work with gravity rather than forcing your body into shapes that it doesn't want to go into. Especially if you have been really busy. You can perhaps take a lighter touch with your practice. So gently release the hands down. Open up the left leg. Lifting the front toes. So remember you can stay here. If the ground feels too far away, you can always use books underneath your hands or a cushion or a bit of the sofa, duvet. If you've got more space, fold over that front leg. But try and keep that left foot energetically pressing down and then drawing back. That's a really good position. And when you're ready, on an inhale, gently come on up. We bend that front knee. Once again, make your way back to down dog, however you like. Maybe through the flow, but if the flow is feeling too much, don't worry about it. Just let the practice be intuitive and let it work for you. Breath in down dog. Next inhale, reach the right leg up into the air. As you exhale, step the right foot forward, maybe with a kiss of the knee, maybe not. This time, ground your back heel. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Rise up, warrior two. Got a slightly metal bum cheek here. Please excuse my metal bum cheek. All right, so in position, spread out the toes nice and wide. And then check the position of your feet. So, for example, if your right knee is really overextending past your right ankle, it's perhaps a sign that you can widen the distance between your feet to find the sweet spot. You're going to turn the chest towards the left side of your mat or left side of the room, and then reach the arms out, taking a breath there, press into the base of your big toes, the inside and the outside of your heel. Find your feet here. And then press strongly into the front foot. Start to straighten the front leg. And then reach as far forward as you can. So strong legs here. Stay grounded through the feet. And then windmill the arms into triangle pose. So right hand can rest on the right leg. Some of you might be able to bring the fingers all the way down to the floor. But think about your right bum cheek. In fact, you can push it out behind you. And then scoop it back in and underneath you. You can really feel the support and the strength through the legs. Nice. So then from here, use this left arm to help lift you back up. Hands to the hips. And then parallel the feet. In fact, turn the toes in a little. I'm actually going to switch. So you can see from here, I'm turning the toes in. Roll the inner thighs back. Lengthen the tailbone. Press the elbows back. Lift the chest. Take a deep inhale. Maybe even gaze up. Then exhale, fold forward halfway. If halfway feels enough and you want to reach down to the floor, you can take the hands forward and hang out there. If the hamstrings feel tight, just micro bend the knees. Give your legs a break. If you're feeling like, oh, I've got some more room, I can go a little deeper here. Side note, deeper doesn't always mean better. Walk the hands back between your feet. And then point the elbows to face behind you. Tuck the chin. Lengthen the back of the neck. Take a couple of breaths here. Nice. So having a change of perspective can be a really powerful thing. Especially if there hasn't been much time for that. There's been a lot of rushing around, a lot of to-do lists. So if you feel ready, as you inhale, gently lift the chest. Bring the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees a little. And press into the feet. Lift all the way up. Take a moment. So we're going to step into tree pose. So I'm going to face this side of the mat, but it will still be the same side for you. So start to bend the right knee and turn the right toes to face forward. Turn the back toes to face forward. And you're going to come up and balance on your right leg, maybe even hugging the knee in. So if balance is feeling tricky at the moment, especially with this move, then that's okay. I'm going to come back over here so I don't get it twisted. If you're feeling like it's a struggle to stay up on one leg, then you can practice with a wall nearby. So just practice seeing how it feels to balance with using some support. That's always a good lesson, always a good practice. If you are feeling relatively stable in the middle of the room, you can start to move into tree pose. So take that left knee out to the left, press strongly into the right foot, and then maybe you can press the foot to the inside of the right thigh. If that's feeling too much, just lower the foot down, maybe the low leg, maybe even toes on the floor with the heel against the leg. Bring the palms together. And then see if you can find a kind of push and pull between the foot and the leg. So you want to press that left foot into the right leg. See how it feels. Hugging in. Nice. And then you're going to step out to a wide leg, maybe as wide as the mat if you're using one. Turn the toes out and then bend the knees. You're going to come down into a squat. That pose where you hope there's no hole in your pants. And don't worry if the heels are lifted here, that's okay. Don't worry if you can't bring the palms together, you can just have the hands on the floor. Do whatever works. But see if you can let the bum drop and the chest lift. So a nice way to practice this pose is using some kind of pillow, something underneath your heels. If you're struggling to get the heels to touch the floor, just bring the floor to you. Nice. So then from here, you're going to make your way back to down dog. So if you want to go through a flow, go through a flow. I'm just going to take it straight back. Find your breath, whether you're flowing or whether you're still. Soften the jaw, soften the tongue. And then we'll go on to the other side once you're back in down dog. So right foot heavy, left leg slowly lifts up into the air. Exhale. Step the left foot forward. Ground the right heel. Front knee bent, back leg straight. Rise up. Warrior two. So reach out. Once again, just take your time finding your feet. Really spread the toes, find the four corners. Expand through the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Now we're going to transition into triangle pose. So press even more into the front foot, straighten the front leg, and then reach as far as you can. You're trying to get this left side body as long as you can. And then when you're there, just windmill the arms. Head can turn any direction, whatever feels comfortable for your neck. And then on this side, we'll just do a little check-in with the ribs. You can take your top hand down, find your floating ribs. Often they want to stick out and stick forward, so see if you can gently tuck them in, and that will bring the experience more into the lower body, but hopefully still give you a lovely open feeling in the chest. One more breath here. And then gently bend that left knee. Slowly come on up. Parallel the feet or turn the toes in a little. This time, take the hands behind your back and interlace the fingers behind you. Press the knuckles down. Lift the chest. Deep inhale. And then as you exhale, fold it forward. Taking your time, reaching the crown of the head towards the floor. Don't worry if it's not touching. From here, really pressing into the feet, extending hips high. Those of you who are familiar and really comfortable taking headstand from this position, you're just going to release the fingers down. Set yourself up. Your choice. Slowly take your time coming up. And those of you who aren't practicing headstand, don't worry about it. Just stay where you are and see if you can really come back to your experience. So notice if there's any unnecessary clenching in the body. It might be through the jaw, the tongue, the muscles around the eyes. Can you soften? Those of you in headstand slowly start to come back down. And then everyone who's in the same position as me, you're going to release the hands, take a breath. Then bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, gently come on up. Take your time. Ooh. And take a couple of breaths when you reach the top. A little change in perspective once again. You're going to draw the heels in now and turn the toes out. You're going to come into what I like to call crab pose, but some people call it goddess pose, and I don't know, there's all kinds of names. Choose what suits you. You're going to bend the knees over the ankles and take the hands to the thighs, relax the shoulders. See, it's kind of like a crab-like, crabby kind of pose, I think. I don't know. You're welcome to stay here. Or we can do I don't know what the name of the glam rock band is in the 70s, but dip your left shoulder forward, roll the right shoulder back. And then swap sides. Draw the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Nice, and then come back up. From here, straighten the legs. And again, we're going to pivot towards the front of the mat. So left toe faces forward, right toes follow suit. And you're going to step forward into this balance, holding your right knee. Find your way there. Maybe this is your balance for today, your standing balance. Maybe it's between that and touching the floor. That's okay. If you're moving into tree pose, take that right knee out to the side. It might feel different one side compared to the other, easier or harder. It's kind of normal. We're human and we're not symmetrical, and that's okay. So try and talk to yourself nicely, especially if balancing is feeling difficult. And remember that when you are busy and you've got lots going on, there's lots going on, especially in the brain, it makes balancing so much harder. So find comfort in that and trust that balance is something that is never still or static. It's always moving, always shifting. We're okay with that. So gradually take that right foot down. We're going to come into that, oh my God, I hope I haven't got a hole in my pants pose. Turn the knees out, toes out, palms together. Woo. All right, should we take a cheeky arm balance? Why not? From here, crow pose or crane pose, depending on what you want to call it. Hands to the floor. Elbows are going to point back behind you. Bum lifts up in the air. And then bring the feet together here. I think that's an easy way of coming into it. So you're creating this little shelf for yourself. And maybe you can gently press the knees just to the back of your upper arms. That might be enough for today. If you feel like experimenting, lift the sternum. And then maybe you can lift one foot, maybe 2 feet, bringing the toes together. Trying to breathe regardless. It's difficult. And then make your way back to down dog. So maybe it's through your flow. One last time. Maybe it's just going straight back to down dog. Find your breath. Reconnect. From down dog, gently lower the knees to the floor, as wide or as close together as you like. Find child's pose, resting the forehead, softening the belly. So feel the support of the ground underneath you. Soften anywhere that feels like it's clenching. You're welcome to stay in child's pose, or if you feel like it, you can gently come up, find a kneeling or a seated position. Close your eyes. If that doesn't feel comfortable, just soften the muscles around your eyes. Just reconnect with your breath. See if you can soften skin on your face. Soften your jaw, your tongue, your lips, belly. Soften the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Find softness however you can. And with busyness can often come a rigidity. And when we can practice adding softness to our day in whatever form, whether that's in our practice, moving around, or in the way that we talk to ourselves, or the way that we are more gentle with our demands, especially on ourselves, maybe on others as well. When we can add more softness, there's more opportunity to be receptive, to receive things. And also we don't have to work as hard. Bring the palms together with the chest. This can be symbolic to whatever you like. I often like to think of it as all parts of who we are coming together, fully accepting, trusting of ourselves. And give yourself a bow, because you're awesome. Well done. Thanks so much for practicing with me. Hope you feel more spacious, more grounded, and more ready to welcome in the season.